Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to the Swear Word. I'm your host, Brandon Swear. Hey, this today we got a great show for you going on. We have a special guest, Radhi Fernandez, in the house. We also have so first of all, he's the owner of Fire Co, and he is the co-host to the Spill the Sauce podcast. We're going to be also doing some reviews on some Faiya sauce, and look forward to having a great show. Hey, if this is your first time checking us out, glad you're here. This is where you can come for everything from the world of hot. Let's get it. All right. Hey, welcome. Hey, if if you like what we're doing here, by all means, glad to have you here. If this is your first time checking us out, welcome. So on tonight's show, we have our special guest, Radhi Fernandez. We have three sauces on the deck tonight for Hot or Not that Radhi calls the OGs. So looking to dive into those tonight. Also, we're going to be discussing with Radhi a little bit about what got him into the hot sauce game, and dive deeper into everything that's going on with Fire Co. So yeah, hey, let's jump on into Hot or Not. All right, hey, if you're just checking in, by all means, get in the chat. Make it active. If you got questions for Radhi, hit them up in the chat, and we'll get it going. So up tonight we have Purple Flame, we have What the Fuego, and Sweet Summer Heat. All right. So let's actually start with Sweet Summer Heat. All right. So I will say that Radhi had mentioned in a social post, before the end of the year, that around the time that I got this bottle, there was a slight mix-up. And so this likely could be the sauce, or it could be something else that he was working on. So we're definitely going to give it a try and get it going. All right. So first of all, great color on this here sauce. This one here is jalapeno, lime, and pineapple. So the ingredients for Sweet Summer Heat are distilled vinegar, jalapenos, pineapple, lime juice, green peppers, onions, garlic, and kosher salt. So on this, he says the heat rating's about a 4 out of 10. So looking forward to diving in on a nice green sauce. Once again, if you're new to this and you're not familiar with how we're doing our ratings, we don't do a 1 to 10. We do a 1 to 5 swear word ratings. That's factored out of 5 different categories. That's heat, flavor, aroma, versatility, and burn. And then we average all those for a total swear word rating. So first up, let's see, Sweet Summer Heat. Man, phenomenal smell right off the top. Super excited for this one. Good consistency. It's got some run, but it's also got some chunks, so I like it. Wow, that is very good. The lime, extremely noticeable in the flavor, and initially right up the front. Then you get that garlic taste, you get the jalapeno flavor. It just starts to, my mouth is already salivating. It starts to just kind of do this beautiful melody in your mouth. All right, let me heat on this as well. I would say for a jalapeno sauce, that's got some nice heat. Way more than I was expecting as far as from a jalapeno sauce. So kudos there on that. So let me get that down here. All right, flavor, phenomenal flavor on this. Nothing too complex, nothing overpowering by any means. Very versatile sauce from what I can tell. I can see this being phenomenal on some breakfast burritos. I mean, the world's endless. I'm definitely picturing some rice and beans as well. So yeah, no. All right. Let me jot down these ratings here real quick. Aroma, great aroma. As I had mentioned, it definitely right off the front you can smell the jalapeno. The here, yeah. I mean, it's definitely the jalapeno smell right off the top, as well as you get a little bit of that lime, but then you can start to smell that garlic on the back end. So phenomenal job on the aroma there. Let's go here. Burn, man. This thing's like I said, for a jalapeno sauce, it's got a nice burn. It's not what you would traditionally think of as a jalapeno sauce. You could definitely get this, and you'd be very satisfied with the heat level on this sauce. Burn wise, I can feel it. It gravitated initially to the front of my tongue. Now that's completely dissipated. It's now kind of got a little bit in the upper chest. All in all, phenomenal burn. All right, and then let's jot this down. All right. Hey, let's kick on over to the purple flame. All right. Once again, amazing color on this sauce. It's got a nice consistency. Excited for this one. It does have the perforated tears. It's more satisfying for me to use a knife. Let's go with, all right. So first of all, purple flame. On the front, it says it has blueberry, serrano, and jalapeno. To get into the finer details, let's go ingredients. So on this, we have apple cider vinegar, blueberries, onion, serrano, jalapeno, and kosher salt. So once again, nice lineup of ingredients, nothing super crazy. Let's get into this. Wow. That has got a beautiful smell. It's like I want to just, if I could take this, get a pie crust, put it in there, and then put a little bit of like a gelatin to make it like a pie itself. This already smells like it would be perfect for that. I'm excited for this. Let's get into it. Big old healthy pour.
Purple's good.
Wow. What is so good. What does he say on the heat on this one? So he's saying that the heat is 3 out of 10. I'd say that's pretty accurate. The heat on the sweet summer heat was actually much more of a punch and noticeable. With this, the blueberries, phenomenal. It's even got some of that, just like that blueberry texture to it. So you're not getting just a traditional very thin sauce. There's texture to the sauce's viscosity. So phenomenal job here. I would say that the serranos, in flavor, they're there more. But what's interesting is I feel like I smell the jalapeno more present on the nose than I do the serrano smell. I know they're not drastically different in smell, but after using quite a few of them in salsa that I make at home, I've come to know the smell difference between a jalapeno and a serrano. But man, that blueberry, the smell is very subtle too, but then it just like it's off right off the bat. It's subtle, but then as the smell starts to just linger, you can definitely pick it up a lot more. Here, I am just completely forgetting to write everything down. So let's get it over here and get some ratings down. Burn on this one, definitely less than the sweet summer heat. So let's say, and aroma and versatility. Man, I could see this being a pretty versatile sauce, but I could also see that it would have a little bit more on the limitation side. So like maybe you're not trying to put, a fruit, even though it's not overpowering. There's no overpoweringness to the fruit in the sauce, but maybe you just didn't want any of that in there. Like, I don't know if I'd be putting that on pizza. Might go good, but it depends what the toppings are. So let's go with that, and then, all right. So up next we have What the Fuego. This sauce is habanero and mango. So once again, beautiful color, great consistency. You can see some of the seeds in this one. Very interested to see what's going on here. He has this one down as a heat rating of 7 out of 10. The ingredients: apple cider vinegar, tomatoes, mangoes, fresh habanero peppers, bell peppers, onion, kosher salt, and garlic. All right. So once again, let's get this. Let's get this one opened up. Oh, there we go. Oh, wow. So that's very, very interesting. I was expecting to have like more of a upfront, like overly a mango type of smell for some reason, but it doesn't have that. It's very balanced. You can smell the habaneros. You can smell the undertones of the mango. All right, let's get into this. Once again, nice healthy pour. Wow. Wow. That is good. That is really good. That that tomato in there is super noticeable, and not only the bold flavors of it, but it also like it mellows the two, the mango and the habanero out in the sense of like one's not trying to compete with the other. That seems to just bring a level playing field across the board. I'm still salivating from it. Very good. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Heat on that. Definitely. Let me give it another second to. I think this one. Yes. This one is obviously hotter than the sweet summer heat. But I wouldn't say it's like leagues different. I would say it's definitely got a nice uptick. Where it does drastically change is in the burn. The burn is more noticeable. It's stacking not so much the very front of the mouth, but it's also the back of the mouth. And then now I can start to feel it, in the chest a little bit. So overall, I would say that this is phenomenal from the heat scale on this sauce here. I would say that once again, you're going to notice more of a burn than the upfront punch, but the flavor on this, man. All right, here I gotta get some stuff down again. I keep getting distracted. All right, let's go with okay. Aroma once again, love it. It reminds me of like I think maybe that's what it is that I'm picking up right off the front. It's more of I think that is what it is. So I smell the habanero and I smell the mango, but it's I think the tomato that I'm smelling kind of just in between the two. This I can tell you now, none of these sauces are going to last very long on my shelf. I'll be surprised if they make it through the week. I'm definitely gonna. I already got dishes planned out for these, so let's go with versatility on this one. I definitely think this was a lot more versatile than, say, Purple Flame. Um, I would say it's probably about the same as Sweet Summer Heat in versatility, but I can definitely see myself gravitating towards What the Fuego. Plus, I love the name. Very great name. All right, so let's go heat, flavor, and aroma. All right. Well, if you didn't know what we were going to be reviewing tonight, it's probably because you don't have us added on Instagram. So I will be releasing pre-show what we're going to be reviewing. So definitely head on over to the Instagram, give us a follow on there so that you can keep up to date with what's going to be coming out. That's where I'll announce the guests first, and that's where I'll announce the products first. All right. Well, hey, that was it for Hot or Not. Let's kick it on over to the guest interview. Hey, Radhi. How's it going?
Doing okay. How are you doing, Brandon?
Doing good. Man, I have heard so many great things about you from Sam, and I knew that this needed to happen. This was going to happen, and I'm glad that we're here and actually having this moment to be able to get to know each other, but also get to know and understand a little bit more about you and a little bit more about Fireco.
Hey, Sam's too kind. He's the best. And thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I love watching the review, man. That was great.
Yeah, no, I mean, phenomenal sauces. I know that you had mentioned that the Sweet Summer Heat quite possibly could have been something a little bit different, but
Yeah, I think that honestly, based on your review, it probably is the one that was the test one and not the real Sweet Summer Heat, because the way that you're describing how the garlic is a little more pronounced, it's probably because of that, because the actual Sweet Summer Heat has a heavier notes of pineapple and makes it a lot sweeter. So you probably got the test one. I gotta replace that one for you.
oh, okay. Well, hey, definitely get a different review as well for Sweet Summer Heat out there. But man, that's a phenomenal sauce. So whatever you're working on for that's a winner there. So yeah, no. So you have, we'll start with the podcast side. So you have the Spill the Sauce podcast that you co-host with Sam. Tell me a little bit more about that. What was the driving factor on that front? Where did this idea come from?
Spill the Sauce was started by Billy, another guy who used to have a company called King Oil and Co. And he was one of Sam's friends too, and we all became friends like on Instagram when we started doing all of this. And he and Sam wanted to start the podcast, and they did it for like a year. They also interviewed me on it, but then they got a little busier, and Sam asked me to co-host with him. And we already had a show on Fridays called Coffee Talk on Instagram, where we go live and just drink coffee and talk about nothing.
Yep.
So going over into actual more like formal podcast with him was an easy transition, and now it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work though, because we edit everything ourselves, and with everything that we have going on, it's just like a little complicated with scheduling and all that. But I love doing it, man. I love sometimes when we have guests and the conversations that we get into. I love just the reviews, the traveling that we get to do, and all of it. It's great.
Nice. Yeah, I've caught the coffee talks a few times, and that's definitely a fun place to be as well.
We're a little too raw. I feel like what the thing about us is that we kind of don't care about anything. So we're very just transparent with all of our opinions. So it's a very casual hangout where it's just two dudes talking crap and people just get to see it.
Hey, it's a lot of fun. The times that I've been able to catch, whether it's just the tail end, the whole thing, whatever, it's always a great time. So definitely love what y'all have going on there. Man, actually, it was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was on the Coffee Talks that I was first introduced to somebody, Ramone Salsa.
Oh my god, no.
So
Oh, dude, Ramon Salsa. It was a situation.
yeah, yeah, it
Uh,
was a great
wait,
situation for me, but you
yeah, no,
know,
I lost it. That Ramon Salsa came out and took over and just did things on that live stream. It was great.
yep.
I had a great time. It was fun.
Yeah, yeah, no, and then what was it? I saw that late on a later coffee talk, y'all actually, or you ended up actually acquiring who Ramon Salsa embodies. Like,
Yeah,
so
so a friend of mine just he sent me this like other he sent me a link to an Amazon purchase, and he was like, "Hey, do you have to get this like puppet because the embodiment of Ramon just feels like this like Hispanic puppet that you use." Uh,
yeah, no,
it's
it
awesome.
was hilarious. Oh, is that it right there? Yeah,
Yeah, you can see it in like the cover.
yeah. Oh yeah, it was on. It was right there for a second on the. Yep, on that cover. That's
Hmm.
hilarious. Man. So as far as Fiaco, like when did you get started? How did you get started? What was your kind of jump off for going into the sauce game?
Well, to make a very long story a little short, it was a whole pandemic thing, pretty much. 2020, in February 2020, I decided that I was gonna start doing something different than what I was doing. I was working in a very corporate environment. I didn't like it, and I was like, okay, like I want to do something different. What can I do for myself? And hot sauce just seems very easy to get into at the
Yep.
time. So I started making stuff kind of out of my house and just
Nice.
selling it to like friends and stuff, and then. Uh, it kind of got out of control very quickly when friends just started to give it to like their friends, and people kept just like pretty much just this chain of like, hey, we want more and more and more. And at one point I decided to like actually quit my job and see where this could go and if I dedicated like full time. And it's been going okay. It's crazy how much it has grown in the last 4 years now. It's crazy to know that I've been going at it for 4 years, and I feel like it's my stupidity that gets me here because I don't have any fear of anything. Like I'm already outgrowing my current production kitchen too. Like we're moving into a new space that is like 10 times the size in a
Very
couple of
nice.
weeks. So that's it's insane how much sauce one can just produce and how much how how supportive the world has been. Pretty much, it's insane. It's great.
No, I mean that's phenomenal to hear that, in a, less than ideal time that something amazing was born, and now here we are. Um, it were these that you call the OGs, were these the real ones that started it all, or what was the kickoff sauces for you?
So those were the actual. Like, so the first one that I made was sweet serving heat, and it's because we were in that lockdown with COVID, and I went to the fridge and I used what I had. I had pineapples, I had limes, and I had jalapenos, and I was like, this is the sauce that I'm going to make. And where I come from, I'm Dominican, so back in the Dominican Republic, we eat a lot of like fried food by the beach, and normally it's like fried fish and like this like dough thing called yaniqueque, and we serve it with like pineapples and like slices of lime and stuff. So I wanted to make something that kind of represented where I'm from, just right off the bat, just to say like, okay, it's going to be like a different kind of hot sauce, a Caribbean style or a Dominican hot sauce. And So that's the first one. And then about a month after that, I made the purple flame, and it was because a friend of mine suggested blueberries. He was like, what about a blueberry hot sauce? And I was like, that's stupid. If I don't think that that's gonna work. But he was like, you already used a fruit one, why not go with something similar? So I did it, and then it kind of worked out. And then I wanted something slightly hotter, and I, believe it or not, I thought that I was the first one in the world who had thought of the mango habanero combination, because like I don't like researching stuff. I like trying to be as like original as possible. And that's hard as
Nice.
hell.
Yeah.
So I was in my house and I was like, dude, a mango habanero, no one has done that. I'm gonna be the first one to make a mango habanero hot sauce, and it's going to be great, and it's gonna be the best. And then once I made it, I posted it, I realized that the mango habanero hashtag just had so much fucking hot sauce that was with the same ingredients, and I was like, okay, like it's not the first one, but I'm hoping it's good.
Yep.
And it has been so far in all 4 years my most popular hot sauce every year.
Very nice. Yeah. No, I mean it's got a very catchy name. Once again, they all have phenomenal color, but it's got that great pop visually. And then once you crack it open, yeah, it speaks for itself. So kudos there. Um, Man. So what? I guess that kind of tails off as well. You had mentioned on touching on the Dominican Republic side of things as being inspiration. I guess if that is your main source of inspiration, that's fine. I just always like to understand better what inspires you, what inspired you to kind of get going with the direction that you've taken your sauces, etc.
You know, it's weird because I'm gonna have to drink some water. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. It and I have the other ones that are teed up for another day. So I think I have your full line at the moment. So it's all at the ready.
Nice. So as far as like inspiration goes, I I do things based on the fact that I'm Dominican, but also I don't in the Dominican Republic we don't really eat that spicy. And our cuisine is not as complex, maybe, and that might be a little ignorant of me, maybe, I don't know. So the way that I just go about the sauces is pretty much I just think of the if I'm eating something, the kind of sauce that I would like to use on it, and just go base of like I'm gonna mix a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and that, and this, and just hope that it tastes good. I'm not a chef. I don't have a culinary background of any sort. So it's just mostly me experimenting in my house and going, okay, this is really good. I'm gonna just make a bunch of it and see if people like it. And that's the way that I've gone about it. I didn't, being fully honest, I didn't even know that there were like different profile concepts or like names for hot sauces. Like my La Muerte, for example.
Mm.
Now I can describe it as a very Louisiana style hot sauce, but I didn't even know that there was like a category of that like thing. So when I started, I just started making hot sauce because I liked it. It was not trying to fit into like different pockets or like categories or anything. I just figured, hey, hot sauce is hot sauce, and as long as it's got some kind of pepper and some heat and it's good, it's a hot sauce. So that was my approach to it.
Nice.
Um, and that's just the way that I go about everything that I do so far.
Okay. Hey. No, I love the labeling that you have. The branding for your whole sauce line is phenomenal. Um, I also wanted to, I guess, ask along the same lines. Um, who also inspires you from the standpoint of like other sauce makers or other sauces that you have tried that you're like, man, they do something great, and now I'm gonna try to either not necessarily do what they do, but like now I got that same drive to figure out something more creative and go down another rabbit hole of a different whole entire sauce.
You know, it's really hard to answer that question because in what I've discovered in this little niche group of people is that there are competitors. I know that there are competitors, and it happens in every in every field. But the way that we have a relationship with each other, a business relationship and like a personal relationship, has made it more of like a friend group that gets to hang out in different cities in different states all throughout the year. So the inspiration and like motivation to continue comes from so many people. It's hard to just point like one or two. Like Sam is amazing in the way that he is, his personality, he's very much himself and doesn't hide himself, from anywhere, or like anyone. And his
Absolutely.
line of sauces and the way he approaches his recipes is amazing. Halogi, the way those guys like are in person and how much like passion they have. The Stanky brothers, like Daddy Stanky's just like, Eddie's just so energetic and he's so into it, and I love it. And Sauce Leopard, like there's so many that it's just hard to just pick one. And as far as like their sauces, I feel like I do get inspired by, and not only inspired, but I think like not discouraged from making weird hot sauces, because I see how many of us just use a new ingredient that I had never even thought of. So I'm like, okay, like if I make something weird, it might just be okay
Yeah.
because because we're all doing it. So it's just probably acceptable. It's going to be cool. Like we're all gonna hype it up. So it's gonna be a good thing. So it's
Yeah.
my inspiration is very broad. I feel
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
hard to like hone it into one person.
Well, yeah, and that I mean, it's always a hard answer or a hard question to answer. Because once again, and I've said this in a few other episodes, it's kind of like, unfortunately, having to pick your favorite child, and that's not always the easiest thing. So with that being the case, I completely get it. Now that I have a screen over here to be able to view, thank you, Jeff, for that. So now I don't have to glance quite so far. I can just kind of look down. Hey, I do see that we have quite a few people jumping into the chat, just checking in. So glad to have you here. Once again, we did some hot or not sauce reviews. We gave 3 sauces today our swear word rating. We have Sweet Summer Heat, Purple Flame, and then What the Fuego from Faiya. And I will say, for everyone that's here now, and I'll announce it too at the end, Radhi has done us a very special deal for everyone that's watching. If you go use the code word SWEAR, you can get 25% off his sauces. So definitely go on over there to Faiya and pick up some of these sauces. They're phenomenal. You're not going to be let down. Amazing aroma, taste, everything. Thumbs up. Great job there. All right, back. Let's get some questions from the audience here. Let's see here. Do you make any Valentina style hot sauces? Asking for a friend. I think that my friend is Miguel Torres, but he wants to know, do you make any kind of Valentina style?
I think the closest thing to the Valentina would be my salsa roja, which it's honestly a very much like Mexican inspired hot sauce because my wife's dad's Mexican, and I at some point I was like, okay, like I've been making hot sauce for a little bit. Now I want to try to imitate or like get inspired by something that is like very what I consider to be very Mexican. So I made a very traditional Mexican from like Acapulco red hot sauce with chile de árbol, red habanero, lemon. And that's the closest thing probably to Valentina, just probably less sweet and less creamy, more like a salsa almost in a way.
Okay. Definitely liking the sound of that. Looking forward to trying it. Let's see here. From Casually Roasting. This was our guest last week. All right. So what pods are you looking forward to experimenting with? And are you going to try and make some face melting sauces?
As far as experimenting with pods, it's a good question because I'm just starting to work with Chile Lengua de Fuego from Honduras, and I'm going to start getting peppers from him because he gets to grow all year round, so I get just to have a
Very
wider
nice.
variety of stuff. And I honestly, he's got a bunch of weird peppers, and whatever he's got available, I'm going to probably obtain and make stuff with. As far as like
Very
face
cool.
melting hot sauces, I do want to make some because I don't like them myself. I just like to a certain heat level, but I feel like it has to happen. And at most shows and like you know festivals and just the general public, they always want something like that. So I think I have to make something that that is going to be like a regretful hot sauce in a way.
Yeah. No, those are. I mean, that's my alley. That's where I really like to seek out as
Once
well.
if you get to try La Muerte, like that's like the hottest that I like to handle on a
Okay.
personal level, and
Okay.
that's why that sauce exists.
Okay. Well, that kind of answers my next question. I was gonna dovetail off of what you just said there and ask, what is your threshold of heat? Where do you like to stay around? But
If I have to make a choice, it's going to be around La Muerte, and that's like hot on the very hot end.
okay. All right. Fair enough. Looks like we got another question here from Never Better Club. How do you feel about the challenge slash burner community? And she said they said that they love their hot sauce makers.
I fucking love it because it's I every time that I go to one of the festivals and I see like people doing challenges and stuff and eating pots and like just doing crazier and crazier things, I stand there and like just admire and awe because it's wild. I love the passion behind it. Why do you choose the pain? It doesn't make any sense, and it just I love it. I love watching it and the sweats and people who like pass out and stuff and the uncontrollable shakes. It's a cool thing to watch. So you guys are awesome, and honestly, people who do challenges and like and stuff like that are what keeps us in business. And it's a very honest thing. Like if we wouldn't do what we do if there weren't people who really enjoy what we do. And so
Absolutely.
we have to like be very understanding of that and very appreciative of the fact that the people that just really love this are the ones that keep us around.
Yep. No, I completely understand that. The idea of the burn, obviously, as your tolerance builds up, that burn becomes less and less. So then you seek more and more. But there's always that tipping point, and that's for me. That's the beauty of it, is finding that nice tipping point, because
You
that's
know,
whenever you get that dump of endorphins.
I've built a bit of tolerance that I've gotten the endorphin rush before from like actually eating very hot stuff. But my problem is just the other end of things. It never gets any better. So I just choose not to suffer. You know?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, what you're doing is being able to craft these masterpieces. So by all means, keep that going, and we'll definitely be looking out for some face melting stuff coming from you, because I can only imagine it's going to have some amazing flavor as well.
Thank you.
The In order to, I guess, get a better understanding of kind of where your plans are for the future, whether that be next 5 years, whatever, where do you see yourself going? What goals do you have set for yourself? I know you said you're moving into a new facility here soon. What does that look like?
So the move to the new facilities is based on. So I started a second company with another friend of mine from Pickle Monster Hot Sauce. They're also another company from Philadelphia. And when
Okay.
I created my current manufacturing space, they moved into it, and they were renting from me at first. And then I asked them to just become like a more permanent tenant and just share the space with me 50-50. And then at one point we were working this Christmas market here in Philadelphia, and on one of the last days, we just I was talking to Steve, and we realized how much we like working together. And I was like, why don't we start like a different thing? It can be a subscription box or whatever, and then we can call it a hot box. And we were like, yeah, cool, it can be that, and let's make it easy. But then after that, it ended up being that the hot box could be our manufacturing brand. And then somebody heard that, and they were like, what if you make hot sauce for us through your manufacturing brand? And they were like, holy shit, now we're a co-packer. So now we're co-packing. So
Nice.
that has taken over pretty much the priority of a lot of the bulk of the business that we do right now, because we have a lot of restaurants that we cook for in the city. We've made sauce for Stanky Hot Sauce. We've made sauce for a couple other hot sauce companies here in the city. Weak Sauce Philly, we make their hot sauce. A couple other restaurants that now have gotten inspired on the fact that we have a hot sauce, and they have started to bottle their own hot sauce. So that has kept us like really busy these days. So we're moving into a bigger place where we can handle that kind of manufacturing a little better. And then Faiya is just going to be I'm going to try to do more wholesale stuff and maybe travel less, so I can dedicate more time also to being at home, because the last 3 years I've been just, on the road
Yeah.
uh, the entire year, and it's tiring.
Well, I mean, it sounds like, as far as from a growth standpoint, there's a lot more that could happen in a shorter period of time going the avenue that you're going, than to just continue the road traveling and going to
Mhm.
sauce festival after sauce festival. So definitely seems like a smart move from a business standpoint. And I can only imagine, once again, to tie back to what you said before, the camaraderie, the friendships, the bonds that get made. I mean, that's also where the inspiration and creativity comes. So
Mhm.
definitely like the sounds of that.
Yeah, I feel like within like the 5 year point, I will probably just be, or I'm trying to be a more established co-packer or manufacturer on this side of the country. I feel like the East Coast could use another one. I
Hey,
don't know.
hey, no, nothing wrong with setting that goal and going after
Yep.
it. So definitely, if that's the direction you're wanting to take, do it. Um, Man, I was gonna ask something and I completely spaced on it as I'm literally saying it.
While
Um,
you space on it, I was gonna say I find it really cool how you noted the purpose of the tomato and what the fuego. That like caught me like it was really interesting to see how you described how it's just like a balancing factor between the flavor of the mango and the habanero, and how it's not like one overpowering the other, more like a conductor of both. I appreciate that note, because I sometimes people have mentioned why tomatoes before even trying it? And I'm like, just
Hmm.
you have to give it a try. It's not like very tomato forward. It
No.
just really helps those other two things work with each other really well.
Oh yeah. No. It was a little bit of a trick on my nose at first because I was trying to figure out what was going on. I read the ingredients, but for some reason mentally my brain blocked out tomato. And then it wasn't until I tried it and I was like, "That's tomato," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I read tomato," and
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I was able to connect those dots. But no, man, that sets the sauce perfect. I feel like without that ingredient, it wouldn't be the same.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, as far as that's where I was what I was going to ask. As far as the next few steps, as far as sauce ingredients. Now, if there's something that you don't want to disclose on that, by all means, don't have to. But I've been extremely curious of this lately, and I've been wanting to ask other sauce makers, but never have actually taken the opportunity to. So, is there an ingredient that either you have the idea that you want to work with, or maybe you want to see incorporated in the sauce, but you would just never touch personally working on in that sauce, that ingredient in the sauce? Is there something that just like calls out to you in that manner?
I don't know. I don't think so. I feel like there's nothing that I'm like just that curious or interested in, or like something that sticks out that much as an ingredient. Um, Personally, I can tell you that with the new things that I'm going to be making, I'm going to continue to try to not include any sweeteners because I don't like it. I
I
don't like
appreciate
extracts
that.
either. Yeah, so for me, it's just like uh, once you start adding so much sugar, you're just drinking ketchup at that point, and I don't like sweet things that much. So
Yep.
it's unnecessary. Um, so I also like extracts. I'm not a big fan of extracts
Yeah.
because I feel like it's cheating your way to making something hot. Like you can't make something very hot and go the natural route. Not that saying that extras are not natural, but what's the point? you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and
uh,
it's always a fine line of trying to either mask it or it you can't mask it and it rears its ugly head and it disrupts the overall taste and textures and flows and, well, not maybe not textures but flows of everything that goes on in
and
the
I feel like
sauce.
at some point, once you get crazy with some of the ingredients, I've noted that some companies will make sauce. I still like making sauce and like and sharing it and tasting sauce are made for the flavor. And if heat comes with it, it's fine because
Yep.
you want it to use certain pepper. But those that make it for like heat first and then some kind of like flavor are not my favorite kind of sauce. I feel like you have. I like the fact that we put more thought into it. I like
Yep.
making sauce with intention, not just making it for the pain. So some of those things are just meh.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. Um, so once again, look, it already happened here. Got a little bit sidetracked. Forgot to kind of sprinkle in some this or that, some burning choices. So we'll start off with a quick one, and it actually looks like we have a few more people jumping in. So before I do that, welcome. Glad you're here. Jump on in the chat if you have questions for Roddy. Fire away. We'll get those answered. Uh, Missed the hot or not? You can definitely catch the replay. And now let's throw a burning choices question in there. So fermented or cooked sauce? What's your preference?
Cooked sauce.
Cooked
Fermented just
sauce.
seems risky, and I
Yep.
don't have the time to wait.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
I'm
No, I mean,
impatient.
I definitely agree with it. It can definitely go risky. If you're not fully dialed in with what you're doing, that could be extremely risky. Um,
Yeah,
just
again,
from
I don't have
simply
a culinary
destroying a whole
background.
batch.
Hmm?
I said just simply from the idea of like potentially like ruining a whole batch just on some small whim.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't have a culinary background, so I feel like I don't want. It's not something that I want that I'm interested in. I don't like the fermented flavor. I don't like the idea of it, and I don't have the patience for it. So I just
Got it.
don't. Yeah, when I want to make something, I want to eat it that day. So
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So all right, here's another one. This is based on just what I've gathered from your socials and obviously from Sauce. So we're gonna go with two passions. So playing the guitar or making hot sauce.
playing the guitar. I cry a
Okay.
lot less, and it's just less painful. No, I've been playing music for at least like 15 years, and I only play at home, and I love it. It's amazing. So if I could play and actually make money out of making music instead, I would quit the hot sauce industry today. I'd give away the company for free.
Man,
But
that's such a sad thing to
although
hear, but yes.
no, but honestly, it's a hard choice too because I my manufacturing space right now, my kitchen, my warehouse has become not a place of work, but a place of like where I hang out with my friends every day. We have a living room there. We go and eat breakfast every morning. We go and hang out and just like, okay, what are we making today? So I'm never tired. I'm never just overexhausted about like working. Like, oh, I'm gonna have to go to work because it's not going to work. It's going to like go make sauce while I'm hanging out with my friends. So making sauce is just it's awesome. I feel like a wizard also just throwing stuff in a cauldron and just blasting it and just and how we do what we do and knowing that at the end of the product it looks the way that it does on a shelf and knowing that we do everything by hand just there's a certain satisfaction to it, so there's an equal balance of happiness. But I do take my frustrations of the hot sauce industry and the guitar, and then so there's a love-hate relationship there, I guess, or
Okay.
love balance relationship.
Nice, nice. Yeah, it sounds like it's more of an outlet. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I like it. Like it. All right. Just out of curiosity, what's your go-to for music right now?
Oh, death metal every time. I'm a big fan of very dark guttural vocals and crashing sounds in music instruments.
Very nice. Yep. No, I can definitely agree with that. I've always kind of gravitated towards the more harsh, nasty, raunchy, whether it be loud bass, whether that be loud guitar solos, drum solos, like all the above. So yeah, no, definitely
One of
down for
my
that.
top bands right now is Behemoth out of Poland.
Okay.
Their lyrics and the concepts and the albums are just like so like nicely orchestrated in a way, and it feels like an entire masterpiece and just so like menacing and beautiful. And people should give it metal a try. It's not as dumb as you think.
Yeah, no, oddly enough, I feel more calm and tranquil when I'm listening to
Yeah.
metal. I think it's well, I used to whenever I was deployed in the military, that was like my go to sleep. What I would listen to
Hmm.
was just metal of any sorts. That was also kind of to drown out everything else that was going on around. But
Yeah.
it became super peaceful and super calming. So no,
For me,
I
it's a
agree.
relaxing thing.
Oh
And
yeah.
especially since I like playing the guitar, like getting to learn these riffs and like these like the way that they play it like becomes you get to a point where you see your hands playing the notes and you don't understand, it's like it doesn't feel like you're playing it, it just happens, and then you get lost into it, so it's like a very peaceful just outlet, I get that it's heavy, but it's still zen.
Nice. No, I mean, eh, super excited. I definitely have to talk more about all that. Um, the, I guess something else I wanted to touch on. So I know whenever I last talked to Sam, he was saying that he's super into cryptocurrencies and taking payment that way. Are you also of the same avenue? Like, where do you
Not
stand on
really.
that?
Like
No.
Sam's very much into cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
I miss so when I was in college, one of my friends told me, "Hey, I want to buy Bitcoin," and they were like $5 a piece or something. Let's buy like 100 of them, and I was like, "Are you stupid? Why would I spend $500 on this stupid thing? No." And then I never did. So I years later when Bitcoin made it to like 30 grand, I was like, I made a mistake. I made a huge mistake. And then decided at that moment that my mistake was so great, so big that I just decided not to even like think about it. So I've never really gotten into it.
Okay. Okay.
It's not my thing.
All right. No, that makes sense. All right. Well, hey, I guess what we'll do is, well, first of all, I definitely want to not forget this time. I've had a tendency to forget the hot seat nomination. So, without further ado, I would like you to nominate who you would like to be on the hot seat.
Nick Curry from Halogi Hot Sauce.
Okay.
Amazing guy, great conversation, knowledgeable, just super smart, super fun, super funky, super metal. That guy rocks, and his sauce is amazing. His company's great. Nick would be a great guest.
All right. You heard it, Nick. I'll be reaching out likely tomorrow, and we'll be connecting to set up a time to get you on the show.
Hell
So,
yeah.
hey, Radhi, once again, thank you for coming on. It's been a phenomenal show tonight. Really being able to get to understand, your passion, your inspiration behind the sauce, being able to, try out your sauces on Hot or Not, going through these, man, just thinking about it once again, still salivating. All right. No, and I love the fact that you're, being as generous as you are, and everyone that is able to go to your website and use Swear will be able to get 25% off of the sauces. But that goes live tonight, or is that already live?
It's already live. You
All
can
right,
go in
cool.
and use it.
So go
And it has
ahead
no
and
end date, so it'll be up until I forget. So
okay, there you go.
yeah,
Hey, everyone there, y'all can just keep on going over there and using Swear until he forgets. So,
yeah, pretty much.
but no, I thank you for having you come on. By all means, this is your chance to shout out where everyone can go follow you, find you, keep up with Fire Co.
Well, yeah, check out the websites, firehotsauce.com or heyjohnmorgan.com or phillyhotsauce.com or hotsaucemadeinphiladelphia.com, or there's a million ones. I own so many domains that all redirect to my website. And follow me on Instagram. It's faya.co. And also check out Spill the Sauce podcast, the show that I do with Sam Hastings from Sam's House. It's a great show where it's just more of this. We have no filters, no real direction, just two guys hanging out and having a great time, and it's a great conversation most of the time. And thank you, Brandon, for having me. It's a bit amazing. I had a good time.
Well, thank you, and look forward to having you back on here again really soon. And hope you have a great rest of your night.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. You
All
too.
right, let's go ahead and close out this here episode 11. Can you believe we're already at episode 11, and that's in the books now? Wow. All right. Well, hey, once again, thank you so much for coming and checking out tonight's show. We had product reviews on Fiaco sauce. So we had the Sweet Summer Heat, we had the Purple Flame, and then What the Fuego. Definitely go check out Faiya and get yourself some discount on those sauces using the promo code SWEAR. That's 25% off. So hey, that's a pretty great deal. Also, we did a little bit of a teaser on some upcoming merch. Would love to hear your thoughts on which designs you liked, something that you might want to see as far as a product. Leave those comments down below. We'll gladly take a look at that and see what I can get taken care of. And then, hey, if you enjoyed the show, definitely go follow us, like, comment, subscribe, all the things. We're on YouTube, Facebook, X, etc. But definitely hit us up on YouTube and Instagram. Hey, I'm your host, Brandon Swear. This has been The Swear Word, and for everything from the world of hot, that's show number 11 in the books.